Right, that panel there, right, where the driver's handle is, that's next, this one, and that's the one that's going on it. What's on there now is just a sticker. So apparently it's just a matter of prizing it out like you would anything, and that's what's happening here. There. That's what I've done. Alright, and then you just have a little plug to unplug at the bottom there, which I'll do. Oh, okay, it's one of those simple pull lever ones. I really don't want to drop it inside there. Oh, there we go. It's no longer where it was supposed to be, but anyway, let's jump back in the car and show you what's got to be done. So basically, that's the old one, which has just got some tape on it, because I was trying to see whether or not I like this. So all things considered, I can put up with that. So this is what we've got. We've got that. It's got to go onto here. So let's see. What have we got here? I hope they all come out together, because I fancy that as a much better idea. They do, I think, if you get it right. That would involve pushing down on these tabs, wherever you find them. There's another one there. So I got to push those tabs out, allegedly. Alright, just get those lugs down however you can. There you go. That's my top tip, preferably without breaking. Get your screwdriver in and lift, get underneath those lugs however you can do it. Oh, there we go. Just prise them out, get the tabs over the lugs, or which gotta get your tag over your lug. So that's done most of that side. I thought the other side would come out easier once that had been done, but maybe not. Just give it a little bit of a, however you can do it. And if this doesn't break doing this, I'm pretty sure we're home and dry, because clipping in is surely going to be easier. Almost. Because you know what it would be like if this is loose going forward. It would just be so annoying. Also, don't want to stab myself. I like that sound. That sounded like something got looser somewhere. It might have to come out at a certain angle. That makes it a bit more difficult to do. That's a bit more. I think literally one lug now. Maybe a few. Maybe some as well. I'll show you this in a second. There may be some little spring clips to put in on the new one as well. Swap over basically. It's no big deal. That's That should be pretty straightforward compared to this little shenanigans here. Oh, so annoying. What happened is it went back in. That was what that clipping sound was. Went back in the other side. I'm sure it'll come out again nice and easy, hopefully. Oh, this is annoying. This feels very 80s. What's happening here? So there it is. Oh my word. I tell you what, look at the state of that. I'm gonna give that a clean. It's a faff, you can break bits trying to get it out, but it can be done. And once done, I recommend cleaning it, because it, there, it really is filthy. My passenger door mirror doesn't drop down anymore or up. It goes in and out, but that's all. I don't think it's because of this, unless there's a loose circuit or something and it completes the circuit, because it doesn't do it when I go into reverse. It doesn't drop down anymore like it used to, firstly, but also even when I try and do it manually, it doesn't. I wasn't kind of expecting this to be so dirty. The thing to do would be to clean it, but I've got nothing here. I've gone up the road now. I'm not going home just to clean it. I mean, I might talk myself into that in a second, but I don't think so. Electrical cleaner would be the stuff to use. Yeah, watch as that doesn't happen. It's going to be a lot cleaner than it was, but it'd be nice to have sprayed it with something and cleaned it up. But anyway, that's not going to happen. If ever I watch this back, when I suppose I will be watching it back when I edit it, I can feel myself saying, no, clean it, you idiot, do it while you got it. But anyway, it's definitely a lot cleaner than it was. Okay, so that's that. So then the next thing you do, it's cool, is clip it all back in. Oh no, you don't. Before you do that, my word, I'm glad I remembered that. Before I do that, basically, I'm not sure how these clips are held in, but I've got to get them out. I might even let you see me doing that, like as if it was like the purpose of the video was to show you how to do this, not just tell you that I've done it. You know, there's some amazing cars out there that people that own them say, I bought myself a blah blah blah. Got hardly any views. It's like, it's because they're not really, I suppose they all say not really engaging, but you know, they're not. It's like, okay, I don't know who you are and I want the car that you've got, but you're not bringing it to me, you're bringing you to me. But enough about me, here's my car. Right, this clip doesn't actually want to go in here for some reason. Oh. Okay. You know why? Because it's brought some of the old thing with it. Oh, that's annoying. Let me put that one down for a second and try some ones that don't do that to me. That's one of them. Yeah. I'm just not sure if these are going to go in. Oh, that's rattly. Oh, it's just annoying. It's these metal sort of spring clips. You've got to get them out in a way that they'll go back in, and it's not really playing ball the way I would like it to. I do remember these things now. If there's some of them, I'll probably be alright. So you've got to prise them out without losing them, and don't loosen them off too much as you prise them out, because then they'll be loose when you put them back into the new thing. I wonder if they, from the factory, if they glued them. I think I used to use thin nose pliers. Those are indoors. Try and do this thing. They are quite important, because this thing will probably, it might not rattle, but it will probably move around when you're closing the door. I was just thinking, don't have pliers in the toolkit. I'll get these out. So I got them out, but two of them broke and one of them fell. I thought it landed in my lap. I'm not so sure it did. But if it did and I stand up, I'll probably never see it again. It might have fallen out on the floor. Have a little look for it. No. I think the thing is just get new ones. If I can find this one, it will probably be just enough for me to put 2 or 3 in. Yeah, it might have gone down the seat somewhere. Oh well. The thing's easy enough to get out, to prise out. I think I'll just see if I can get some new ones. I would recommend, if you want to keep the old handle or whatever, just not even taking them off. They're too brittle, they break, they do all kinds of things you don't want them to do. So I would say get new ones. So I could probably pull this out at some other point and put the new ones in. I think they yeah, they might not go in very nicely actually. It's annoying that just that one, the others are just too broken. If that one that just landed in my lap, it disappeared somewhere, maybe down the side of the seat. If it hadn't have done that, it probably would have had just enough to get away with. But anyway, so then just press these in place. I say just, we'll see how just that just is. It should go in easier than it came out, and it did. And that's not going to work, so I've only got 2 clips. Oh, these don't look very good. Anyway, oh, that's alright. They're a bit, guess what? It doesn't fit very nice. Well, we'll have to just see. I don't want to have to try and get these out again. But it looks like I'm going to have to. Oh, they don't really fit properly. They're a bit tight. Maybe not. Oh well. So plugged it back in, just needs to be pushed down into place. So the annoying thing is that I think I'll probably damage the thing getting that out, but it needs filing down to give the window switches just a little bit more room than they have. So that's annoying. Right, pretty much the most awkward part of the job is separating the switches from the housing, and that's what I've got to do because the housing is too tight and the windows are sort of sticking. And it also didn't look like it was going to go in exactly the right place, but anyway, we'll see at the time. But I've got to try and bore out the gaps so that the window switches didn't stick. And weirdly enough, I don't know why, but this switch for the left right of the mirrors, even when I moved it to the right, it still controlled the left. So, and yet it didn't look like it was being stopped from going any further to the right. So here we go. Let's see how I get on with that. Right, I got the thing off. I'm here in my kitchen. Yeah, I got it out of there. Just basically, I'm just giving it a little clean that I didn't give it because when I saw how dirty it was, I was like, oh, I wish I was indoors with a cotton bud cleaning that properly. And now here I am, but wishing that it had just gone in and behaved itself. Now, there's a few little odd things going on. The car, I just went out to the car now. Once I got this off, plugged it in to make sure everything was working as it was before, and it is. So it's just that it was jamming, and the choosing which side to control the mirrors with wasn't going right across. I'll show you that in a second. And that's why it wasn't operating the other mirror, but without the restrictions of the casing, it was fine, basically. The problem I've got, basically, not sure if I'm going to be able to show this. This is what I think, but I don't want to commit to this little thing unless I really have to. But basically, this is the old one. I know it looks similar because it's got this dodgy plastic on it, but you know, you can see it's brown. Right, just here, you see that there is a lack of, shall I say, a nipple? Like there's one, where are we? There's one there, but there's meant to be one there. Well, I don't know if there's meant to be one there or not. It looks like one's broken off. And on the new one, the replica, it's not a standard BM part. Oddly enough, it doesn't have that one there, but it has this one here. Now, I don't want to break that just for the sake of it, but what's concerning me is that the problem I've got, these won't go up or down. They will, but they'll either go up and they might stick up, or they won't go, you know, and they won't go down, or I move them around, they go down, now they won't go up or whatever. What that suggests to me is that, I'll put my hand underneath so you can see, like these areas need maybe just need filing down, which is a shame actually, now I feel it, because it's nice and smooth. But it looks like they need filing down a little bit, just to give that little bit more room. And if it wasn't so difficult to get them in and get them out, this, you know, on the back here with these lugs and everything, then maybe I could just try and wriggle it around. And even if I settled on a spot that was fine, it might move. It's going to be really annoying to get into the habit. Well, you could even burn out a window motor maybe, because it will jam up, you know, and in the up position or something. So I don't really want to sort of just get in, you know, have some sort of, you know, imagine as well, I let someone else drive the car. It's like I couldn't close the window. It's like, oh yeah, it does that. You just wriggle it around. It's like, no, we're not getting into all that stuff. It's going to work or not. So I'm going to probably file those bits down with something that will leave it still quite smooth, hopefully. I'm not really sure what I'm going to use yet. I've got some files, but probably not very, a bit brutal. I don't want to crack this. I don't know how strong it is. I don't know exactly where I've got to file down. Then it's not going to be glossy, even though you're not going to see it, but is it going to impact in some other way? Don't know at the moment. And the other thing is, yeah, this switch, the mirror one, try and get my hand out of the way so you can see it. This one, it's basically, it's going almost to the middle, and this doesn't have a three-way one. I know some mirror switches have left, right, and sort of off or whatever, but this doesn't. It's amazing what you do and don't know. You know, I've had the car long enough to know, but I never paid any attention to it. But it looked like it was going right over, but it wasn't. When it is, then you can control the right mirror. As it stands right now, it means that I've got to try and know what's possibly making it do that and handle it, which may involve filing this down. I don't really know. I have a horrible feeling I'm going to have to get this off one more time at least. And I just wonder, it's going to start getting all chewed up if I keep doing it. You know, is it worth it? Well, yeah, it is, because I don't want to put this back, even if I take these dodgy stickers off. So now I've got this. You know, I've just gone down to the car as well to check that all this was working once I got it off of here. And, you know, those other door handles, I'm kind of liking them now. This is quite nice. What was weird though is I mentioned in one of my earlier videos the CD changer or whatever, just trying to, or the sat-nav DVD, trying to find a map or something when I wasn't even using it. But when I went down to the car just now, it was in some sort of weird loop of checking all the CD changes, and it said that it had lost. It said something like higher battery drain or something like that. Message came up. I don't know if that's because it's looking for something that isn't there because this isn't plugged in or something. Right now, when I locked the car as well, I only folded one of the mirrors, so not really sure actually at the moment. I think it would just be good to get this back in the car, working, and then then try and get some charge into the battery. It's certainly not because I was sitting there draining it for ages, because I had the engine running for most of the time. I'm just making a liar out of myself by putting a little bit of water on and cleaning this. I suppose it may help these from sticking, but shouldn't need to. So, and I don't think it really will anyway, to be honest with you. But I'm just, doing it because I've got the thing here in my hand and it's accessible for once. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to decide what I think the problem is with it catching. I mean, it might be just the way I'd had it seated, but I don't want it to be so critical. It needs to have a bit more room in that, because if it does move just slightly, even through heat or whatever, just usage, if it tends to move slightly forward or slightly back, if that then jams it, it's just, I just don't, there's an old definition of operational, and I think it's something like works without any further attention on it or required or whatever. So if you've got a printer that you need to stand next to it and tap it in order for it to print, that's not operational. And it's the same with this. It's like if I've got to know the funny little wriggly way you have to use the switch, well, it's not operational, is it? Because it's just asking for trouble. It's just so tempting to clip it back in, but it's just not going to be the one. So I'm going to have to file, and let me show it that way, where am I? These bits down. That's for one. And I really don't know what could be causing the problem with the selector switch for the mirrors. But funny enough, there are two, where I showed you where those pins are, there are also two sort of lugs here as well. One there and one there. Now, so you see it, that hole and that hole. They line up to where those pins are, so if I break them, on the one hand it may not matter, it may help them to locate if it's been cast out in a way or printed or however they've done this thing. But in the same token, or whatever the saying is, Ideally, they maybe need to be there, although on my old one, you know, one of them was broken, but just trying to avoid having to keep putting this thing in and taking it out, because that's just gonna eventually it's gonna cause problems. I think I just don't want it loose, or just want it to work, basically. So what to do? Yeah, so I think, annoyingly, really annoyingly, I've got to shade these things down. So annoying. It's amazing. If they had just fitted in perfectly, it'd be done now, and I would be so happy. But I just think there's some more twists to come, I suppose. I even noticed as I was putting this thing back in that it didn't seem to line up the way this one did. But that might just be, I never pushed, because I didn't push it right in for its final sort of seating place or whatever. So, you know, maybe it was fine, but you see this. What would that be? Maybe one of these clips is pushing it. Don't know. It is possible sometimes you put something in again and it's fine, and you think, what was that all about? And you never know. But I don't know about that. So tempting to do it again, but just think it's gonna catch. I'm gonna file them down. Don't want to do it, but who knows if it doesn't. Oh, who knows anyway. I think I'm gonna have to get more and more drastic each time. I reckon this is the first go at not really being drastic enough. I don't want to go too far straight away. So. But I don't want to keep putting the thing in and out of these lugs, because eventually something's going to go wrong. And I don't really want to wait a few weeks for another one in the post, especially if it's going to be the same. Oh, here we go. Right. Got my file. Happens to be just small enough to go in there. I think I've got another one, but luckily for me, I found this one first. Oh, it just seems such a... I don't mind really doing this if it solves it, even though it's a bit of a shame to have to... You won't see it, but... I don't know if it's really doing it either. Scratching it is not the one. forevermore now. Okay, so note to self, don't scratch it. I've already scratched it, by the way, quite badly. I have to get in touch with them and get them to send me another one and just say it's just snagging. I don't know if I've even made any difference. I don't want this now. Maybe they could complain, but shouldn't have to do this, obviously, it goes without saying. Oh, I'm going to put it in again. Just gotta, I don't think this is going to sort it. Yeah, it's just not lining up right. I don't think it is anyway. Yeah, it's going to go in. So I need to do something about this mirror. It's going to go in with the mirror control not right over, but I don't know why it won't go right over. Don't think the mirror's going to work, the mirror switch. Something is stopping it from going right over. Well, I haven't put it properly in, but it's sort of in. And it's still got the problem with the mirror. I can use it. I'll fold both the mirrors now. Alright, so that's something. So I can use it. At the moment I can't adjust the driver's door mirror. I am a bit concerned that there was some weird battery drainage occurring with this not plugged in. I don't really know why. Might have just been some random coincidence. Yeah, it's so close to being done. I don't think I'm going to see those scratches that I made, but I've got to do something to work out what's stopping that switch from going right the way across. I've just got to get everything out of the way of that happening, if I even know how or why that's happening. And then as long as it fits in the hole properly, it's all good to go. And I would say, yeah, if that's the case, if I just need to file it out a little bit more, as long as I get that right and it doesn't make a pig's ear of everything, or I don't, then I would say really it's fine. I mean, I think I'll look again and I'll put a link in the description, but I think it was something ridiculous like 16 quid for 3 door handles and this panel. If you haven't seen the video, there's a video of me fitting the 3 door handles, the interior door handles, which go sticky, you know, they sort of, well, they melt really. So 16 quid or something like that for some sort of carbon fibre, you know, fake gloss, whatever. ones of those and this panel, and the other three were fine, but this panel needed a little bit of fettling. Not very much when you think of the actual size and shape and everything of it, but enough to just make a person have to get involved. Obviously if it was OEM you wouldn't expect that at all. So they've almost got it right. If those things had clipped in and everything had worked without that, this would be in here now and the whole thing would be a high win. But I think I'm on the verge of it. I just hope that I don't make something worse trying to make it better. That's always the liability, isn't it? Anyway, let's see how we go. So what I think it is, I'm going to show you. There's, where is it? There, this thing on the, let's do it this way. On the inside, there is a bit along here that needs to be trimmed down, because you can see, you see that it's only letting that, where is it? It's coming outside of this. You see the lugs sticking up. Now that, it doesn't seem to like that. And the only thing I could say is it's not really happening on the old one. Yeah, it's like wider or something. Anyway, so one way or the other, I've got to file that down. And I have a feeling that it needs to not be there at all. Not just like, because it's quite a long way that it's not going across. Yeah, I'm just going to have to get rid of that altogether. Yeah, seems to have done it. It goes all the way over now. Well, at least I hope it does. A few more scratches on the thing. Hopefully I won't notice. I've shaved off a little bit more for these switches just to make sure they're all good. And I think that's it. I'm going to go down and take a look. Need another bite of chocolate. It's Friday night. Look at me. Rocking. Go down and have a look. So it's a bit too dark for me to see exactly why it's not going in properly. Might just be the way I'm putting it in, or it might be some other thing it's catching on. I don't want to be pressing when I can't see what I'm doing and end up cracking the thing or whatever. But if it all works out all right, it will be, you know, a good enough upgrade. It's not sitting very right at all, but anyway, hopefully that will all get sorted out tomorrow. It needs to, but I need the daylight so I can see what I'm doing, because there's definitely various things that need to be done to finish it off, and it's so tempting to just keep trying, but I can't really see what I'm doing, so I'll leave it. We'll sort it out tomorrow and wrap it up, and if it's all good, then it's good enough. I can just move on to whatever needs to be done next, and that will do for now. There you go. Just a bit too much sun coming through. Right, it's morning. I'm glad I didn't do it last night. All I've got to do is hope that I can get the thing in here. It seems a ridiculous thing to say, but it's not OEM, so I'm just trying to work out why it's misbehaving. I was worried about those clips because I wanted it to be a tight fit. I'm not worried about that, shall I? It's gonna go in there, but for some reason I think it's got to go under, and then there's not enough room for it to go under and at an angle. Oh, there we go. This is probably going to be it, hopefully. Not really. Well, it's not really seated down properly. And what that means, okay, so it's not quite in. It's a little bit high up along here. It's high in places. And the other thing is where this sweeps down, it's sitting on top of the old one. So it's not fitting properly. I think it does fit, but it's catching on something. That's what I reckon. But anyway, yeah, maybe I should try and deal with it. But the basic bottom line is that's done. I mean, it's not done, but it's nearly done. I can listen. Whatever I need to do to get the thing in is probably going to be slightly different to what you need to do to get it in if you have problems with it. You know, it's probably not going to be the same little casting or whatever that's causing the issue. But what I'm trying to say really is that you may have a little bit of fitment issue here and there with this one if you go for this. But with these, they're fine. So yeah, that's about all I can say really. So anyway, that's it. It's done ish. That's how you do it. They pull out, they've got some clips, you unclip, you push the thing into the new one, try and save the clips if you can, push it back in. It may not line up unless it's OEM, and if it doesn't line up, you're just gonna have to use your eyes to fettle it, you know, try and see where it's catching, and if there's a certain sequence like the front near the mirror controller, you might need to put that in first. But anyway, I'm kind of glad that I've done it. When it's all sitting in properly, obviously I can say I'm fully pleased. I'm glad I've done it. I think I looked and it was, I'll put links and everything, but I think it was like 15 or 18 pounds or something like that, and I think that included delivery, and that was for all four. That was for this one and for the other 3 door handles. I don't think that's too bad. You can get them in black soft touch, you can get them in black gloss, you can get them in cream soft touch, you can get them in this fake carbon fiber thing. I didn't see any in whatever this color is that I've got, this brownie sort of thing, and I just didn't think, as I've said before, I didn't think I could get them close enough. Even if they did do it, I would be worried that it would be a shade out and it would just look wrong. Anyway, that's done. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. You can like and subscribe, it does help. It helps me anyway. Don't know what it does to you. If it's not too onerous for you, give it a go. Cheers. Thanks.